Hi everyone, thanks for being here. I'm Lou. Welcome to your July monthly forecast. Okay, so this month we begin the Venus retrogrades. This is a really exciting and powerful time this month. So that starts in Leo on July the 23rd, but she'll be in the pre-retrograde shadow for the whole of July. So we'll be feeling these themes coming out in our lives, and we'll be able to apply ourselves to these themes for the whole month, and then into August and September, and all the way into about mid-October even. The overarching themes of Venus in Leo, it's all about love, and it's all about the hearts, the heart space. And so there'll be a lot of heartfelt emotions. There'll be a lot of boldness in love and in relating and in communicating love. I expect there'll be a lot of expression. There'll be a lot of outpour of love, like of the heart's desires. So this doesn't have to be romantic, although for a lot of people it will be. This will be about creativity as well, and about how you express yourself creatively. And so I have actually made a separate video that is just for the Venus retrograde. So if you want to work deliberately with this energy, or if you want to see how this is going to manifest in your life, and what you can do to shape this energy and shift how it manifests in your life, all that information is in that video. It's an extended video. It's very in depth, and I do a tarot card reading for each zodiac sign in that video. So highly recommend that you watch it. It's got a lot of information in it. So I'll be releasing that closer to the Venus retrograde around July the 23rd. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get notified when that video is released. And yeah, let's get into the forecast.
I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm working from today, the Kumbankia people, and recognise their continued connection to their land and their culture. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I acknowledge that this is and always will be Aboriginal land.
Hi there, Capricorn. Welcome to Cancer season. So this month we start the month with the sun traveling through Cancer, which represents your opposite sign. So the 7th house, the person on the other side of the scale from you. So this month will be, the spotlight will be on your partnerships, past, present or future partnerships. That can be will be intimate partnerships like marriage partners, the people that you're in a relationship with. But it can also be business partners. It can also be anyone that you work with on a one-on-one capacity with, or that it can even be open enemies, people that you're in a dispute with, okay, is represented in the 7th house. So that's where the energy will be, and it will be about looking at yourself through the reflection of other people. That's the work that you can do during this time, Cancer. It is a powerful time to do that kind of work. We do have your full moon happening on July the 3rd. So that's your full moon in your first house. It's a really beautiful time to release, okay? So have a think about the last 12 months and what you've achieved over the last 12 months. It's a good time to reset, especially on an emotional level, and to release anything that you don't want to move forward with you over the next 12 months. Now, this full moon will be making a beautiful trine with Jupiter that is in Taurus, representing your 5th house. So Jupiter has moved into Taurus in May and will be there until May next year, starting this cycle in your 5th house, bringing a lot of blessings and solutions and opportunities through that 5th house. And for the purpose of this full moon, I feel like this is going to be about your self-expression. So Jupiter will be encouraging you and amplifying you to express yourself in whatever way that means for you. It could be creatively, but it could be, uniquely, however that applies for you uniquely, that you can express yourself to other people. And I think with this full moon in your first house, the sun in, the moon in your first house, sun in your 7th house, making that beautiful trine to your 5th house, I think that this would be a beautiful opportunity for you to express yourself to your partner. And if there's anything that you've needed to express, or anything that you feel like you need to say, that I feel like it will be received well if you do it during this moon, or just releasing blocks that are blocking you from being able to be completely yourself in those relationships. Now on July 10, Mars moves into Virgo, which represents your 9th house. Now this is the house of your expansion. So this is all about expanding, and Mars will be creating a lot of drive, a lot of passion and motivation to expand. That usually will come through in restlessness, okay? Because to create expansion, you need to feel like restless, you need to feel uncomfortable, right? So you may feel very restless with this transit. So Mars will be in Virgo until August 27th. So we've got 6 weeks of this. So if you're feeling really restless, that's what it's all about. There's a need to expand in whatever way that's going to be different for everybody. Apply that how you will, but it may be expanding your mind through learning, through growing your understanding, through education or some form of learning, or it could actually be expanding your physical environment. It could actually be traveling, wanting to travel, wanting to move, wanting to go somewhere foreign, wanting to go somewhere different to what you know, different to your comfort zone. So this is really what it boils down to, is with Mars in the 9th house, is freedom. So how do you feel? How free do you feel compared to how trapped do you feel? So Mars will be wanting to push through any barriers or any blockages towards you feeling free and feeling freedom. And that can mean anything for everybody. Freedom is different, but often it can be freedom to choose, or the freedom to move, or the freedom to grow in a certain way. So looking at freedom as a theme for you over the next 6 weeks. And if any resistance does come up for you, may possibly in the form of anger or feeling trapped, having a look at your perspective, having a look at the lens that you're viewing that situation through, having a look at the meaning that you've applied to that situation, what that actually means, because sometimes we can broaden our perspective, broaden our horizons, just simply by changing our perspective, changing the meaning that we've applied, and changing our understanding. And if you don't understand, growing your understanding by looking for the information that you need, by learning. And then on July the 13th, the North Node moves into Aries, which represents your 4th house, beginning a brand new cycle there, okay? So it's just been moving through Taurus, your 5th house, and for the last 18 months, and now it will start a new cycle in Aries for the next 18 months between now and January 2025, applying its energy to this 4th house area of your life. Now, this is a pivotal part of your life. It is an angular house, so it's where significant life events happen. So then the North Node, there can be significant changes, specifically around your home and your family, around the environment that you live in. But what this is really about is shifting your emotional state, okay? So to aligning and evolving your emotional state to be more in alignment with the direction that your soul is evolving, the direction that you're going in life. So what I mean by that is that if you have a chronic emotional state that is not beneficial to the direction you are going in, for example, if you have a chronic emotional state of depression, or a chronic emotional state of anger, or whatever, or despair or disappointment, it can be anything, but if it's not benefiting your soul's evolution, the North Node will be here to figure this out, to help to evolve that, to help to grow that. And it can be very uncomfortable because there's changes that need to be made for your soul to be expressed into this physical reality in the way that it wants to be, right? So with the South Node over in Libra in your 10th house, there will be an opportunity, or it will feel easier to escape into your professional life, to escape into the broader community and go out into the world. Will feel easier than being at home and going inwards and being internal and being with yourself emotionally, supporting yourself emotionally. But that is what is needed for your soul's evolution at this time. So the next 18 months, it's really important to be with yourself, to hold space for yourself emotionally so that you can evolve and grow as a soul. And then on July 18th, we have a new moon in Cancer in your 7th house. And this is a really beautiful time to set intentions for your relationships, to have conversations with your partner about where you're headed. Any seeds that you plant and any intentions that you sow during a new moon, you can nurture them and you can grow them, and it will have that new moon energy to it. So it's a great time to decide what direction you're heading in your relationships, or how you're going to work with relationships and apply that energy to this new moon. And on July the 23rd, we begin Leo season, and on the very same day, the Venus retrograde starts. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that in this video because I've done a separate video on the Venus retrograde, and in that I've done an individual tarot card reading for each sign, and there's so much information in there, so we're not going to talk about that here. But for the purpose of this video, Venus will be moving retrograde in your 8th house, and that is a really significant house to have a Venus retrograde in. So there's a lot of, this is the house where we merge with another person, where we are intimate, where we are vulnerable, where we open ourselves up to be vulnerable for the purpose of creating the deepest connection that we can with other people. And so that's where this energy will be applied to. So remember, keep your eye out for that Venus retrograde video. Subscribe to my channel so you get notified when I release it closer to the date, around July 23rd. And the last but not least, on July 29th, Mercury will move into Virgo, joining Mars over there in your 9th house. Now, this is important because next month in August, Mercury will be moving retrograde in Virgo in your 9th house. So we'll talk way more about that next month. We'll go into depth. But for now, just being aware that in August, there's going to be this overlapping of the Venus retrograde, the Mercury retrograde. So it could be a very intense month for a lot of people. Because these are the personal planets. There's a lot of personal introspection, a lot of personal work that we will be doing. And if you can work with that deliberately, it's great. But if not, it can feel overwhelming. So we'll talk about that in the August forecast. But for now, that was your July forecast. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And have a great month. Take care.